Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to the Daily Roll-Up with Kagan Dunlap. I'm Kagan Dunlap. We do one of these videos every day during the weekdays. I usually try to make them and put them together with like 5 or 6 small stories that are going on currently, just to kind of provide you guys with a little bit of an update on things that are happening around the world. We're going to talk a little bit about Texas. We're going to talk about the floods there. We're going to talk a little bit about Ukraine. There is an interesting situation that just took place over in CENTCOM near Djibouti. Apparently, a Chinese naval vessel fired a laser at a German spy plane. And then we're going to talk about a few other things. So without further ado, let's get right into it. So this woman right here is the acting U.S. attorney for the Northern District of Texas named Nancy Larson. And on July 7th of 2025, she announced federal charges against 11 separate individuals for being involved in a coordinated attack on immigration and customs enforcement officers in the Prairieland Detention Center in Alvarado, Texas on July 4th, describing the incident as a, quote, planned ambush that was intended to kill ICE corrections officers, end quote. Apparently, the attack occurred at around 10:30 p.m. on July 4th, when 10 to 12 individuals dressed in black military-style clothing began shooting fireworks and vandalizing the facility with anti-ICE graffiti such as, quote, ICE pig and, quote, traitor. The vandalism was allegedly designed to lure ICE personnel outside. So they're trying to get them to come outside of the perimeter of the facility so they could attack them. 2 unarmed ICE corrections officers exited the facility after a 911 call was made, and an Alvarado police officer responding to the scene was shot in the neck by one of the suspects. Another assailant fired 20 to 30 rounds at the unarmed correction officers. The police officer that was shot survived with non-life-threatening injuries, and no ICE personnel were harmed. Now, the 10 suspects are all mostly from northern Texas, including 4 from Fort Worth, 3 from Dallas, and 1 each from Kennedale and Waxahachie and College Station. All of them were charged with 3 counts of attempted murder of a federal officer and 3 counts of discharging a firearm in relation to a crime in violence. If they get convicted, they're going to be facing up to 10 years to life in prison. In addition to this attack or this ambush, law enforcement recovered 12 sets of body armor, spray paint, a flag reading, quote, resist fascism, fight oligarchy, end quote, flyers, all kinds of stuff. Apparently, they even had anarchist literature on them titled, quote, organizing for attack, insurrection, anarchy, end quote. The suspects were apprehended during traffic stops following their attempts to flee. So historically speaking, over the past year, it's at least appeared on the surface that the president has been attempting to reduce the United States' involvement in the war in Ukraine. However, when reporters were asking him on July 7th of 2025 whether or not the United States was going to send more weapons to Ukraine, he responded saying that we are going to be able to send more weapons. We have to, saying they have to be able to defend themselves. Also saying that they were going to be primarily defensive ones.
We're going to send some more weapons. We have to. They have to be able to defend themselves. They're getting hit very hard now. But your defensive weapons, primarily, but they're getting hit very, very hard.
Now, this only came a few days after the White House had announced a pause on some arms shipments to Ukraine, which a lot of people were upset about because they felt that it was going to have a direct impact on the Ukrainian military's ability to counter drone strikes and long-range missile strikes. Now, when the White House had made that announcement, it was because it was citing concerns about the dwindling U.S. stockpiles for those specific weapon systems. In addition to the president's response to reporters, the chief Pentagon spokesman, Sean Parnell, made a official release on the U.S. Department of Defense website saying, quote, at President Trump's direction, the Department of Defense is sending additional defensive weapons to Ukraine to ensure the Ukrainians can defend themselves while we work to secure a lasting peace and ensure the killing stops. Our framework for POTUS to evaluate military shipments across the globe remains in effect and is integral to our America First defense priorities. And that was dated for July 7th of 2025. So this truck you see right here is called a BM21 Grad, and it's a Russian multiple launch rocket system. It's basically like a multiple launch rocket system that's mounted on the back of a truck. You've seen this kind of thing all over the Middle East. They've been scattered in Syria. They're all over the place in Iraq. And then obviously they've been used in Ukraine pretty heavily. And a video came out recently, as you can see here, of one suffering a catastrophic detonation after being impacted by a Ukrainian FPV drone. This was recorded somewhere in eastern Ukraine. Not 100% sure where, but what it looks like is that an FPV drone impacted the munitions for the BM21 Grad and it ignited them instantly, causing a catastrophic detonation. Okay, so I wanted to give you guys a little bit of an update on the situation out in Texas with the floods. Right now, the death toll has risen to 104 across the state, and Kerr County is reporting the majority of those, including 84 deaths in Kerr County, 56 adults and 28 children. Other counties, including Travis County, is accounting for 7 deaths. Burnett is 4 deaths. Williamson 2. Kendall 6 and Tom Green 1. At Camp Mystic, 27 campers and counselors lost their lives, with 10 girls and 1 counselor still missing as of July 7th. Statewide, 41 people still remain missing outside of Kerr County. There's been over 850 high water rescues, with helicopters, boats, and ground teams continuing their search through debris and muddy riverbanks to try to find and locate anybody that's missing. Apparently, there's still more rain forecasted for the coming week, which has raised a lot of concerns that there's going to be further damage and further flooding that could possibly cause problems with aid and relief efforts. But currently, they're trying to just remain focused on finding the remaining people who are missing. Also, as another side note, if you would like to help and you can't go there in person, I was referred to this page by numerous folks that are local to the area in Kerr County, and they said that the communityfoundation.net is a vetted, confirmed website, and it seems to be the common one that people are being referred to for monetary donations for the Texas Hill Country, and they're accepting all the charitable donations from anybody trying to support Kerr County's flood relief fund, which is going to help probably rebuild people's homes and help support the community out there. So if you want to contribute and you can't make your way out there, go to the Community Foundation of the Texas Hill Country website at www.communityfoundation.net, and you can help that way. Apparently, there are reports saying that a Chinese naval vessel fired a laser at a German reconnaissance aircraft over the Red Sea. So on July 8th of 2025, a bunch of reports, like I said, came out saying that a Chinese Navy vessel operating from its military base in Djibouti targeted a German Air Force reconnaissance aircraft with a laser over the Red Sea. The incident occurred during the European Union's Operation Aspides, which is a defensive maritime security mission launched in February of 2024 to protect commercial shipping from Houthi attacks in the Red Sea. The German aircraft, reportedly a chartered B-350 spy plane with civilian pilots and 4 German soldiers on board, was conducting surveillance when it approached a Chinese frigate, possibly the guided missile destroyer Baotu. The Chinese vessel allegedly used a laser to blind the aircraft's crew, forcing it to abort its mission and return to its base in Djibouti. The German Foreign Ministry condemned the act as, quote, entirely unacceptable, end quote, stating that it endangered personnel and disrupted the operation. Berlin has asked the Chinese ambassador to come forward because they are noting that the incident occurred in international airspace without prior communication from the Chinese side. So far, China has not publicly responded to the allegations. Now, Operation Aspides involves Germany and other European Union nations like Belgium, France, Greece, and Italy, and focuses on escorting merchant vessels conducting patrols and ensuring freedom of navigation amid Houthi attacks, which have intensified since October of 2023. Now, Germany contributes up to 700 personnel, including a, quote, flying eye multi-sensor platform for reconnaissance. Now, the mission doesn't involve any type of military strikes, but it aims to secure vital trade routes for civilian ships in the region since it's deemed high risk due to the ongoing Houthi attacks. All right, so that wraps up the daily roll-up for the day on July 8th, 2025. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Please let us know in the comments below what you thought about the video. If you think that there are things that we can improve upon, upon, or if you thought there are things that we did well. And that way we can continue to repeat the things that we do well, and we can adjust the things that we need to improve upon. So that's the best way that we get feedback on how to improve this stuff. We're going to do these every day, Monday through Friday during the week. So the editors also read this as well. So if you put comments in there about like editing things that you liked or that maybe you didn't like, or things that you think would do better, let us know in the comments. Anyway, I appreciate you guys coming here to watch this, and I hope you enjoyed it, and we will see you in the next video.